Hi, juniors. I wanted to give you a quick overview of what we are expecting to be turned in for the internship application. And after I go through some of the checklist, I'm going to talk a little bit about resumes too. So one of the first things you should have gotten is this internship application that I emailed to you. If you cannot find this, please email me and ask for the link again. This is one part that is a requirement of the application, which is now due on the 24th by the end of the school day. So you just fill this out in Google Forms, and that's all you have to do on that. This, remember, your parent or guardian permission for application. You should have a sheet like this. If you were gone or you don't have it anymore, please come by and get them. If for some reason I am not in my office, I will leave copies on the desk that is out in front of my office. But your parents need to sign this to make sure that we know they're okay with you applying to do this opportunity. You also need two of these student recommendation forms, which I've gotten quite a few of them in, but these recommendation forms go to teachers, and those teachers will turn them into me or my box. So again, if you have lost your copies of this, or you haven't turned them into teachers yet, you need to make sure and do that, because I don't have near as much of those forms as I should right now. I will work on getting you guys kind of an update of the forms and things that I have from you by the end of the day tomorrow. So on top of the application, the parent guardian permission form and the two teacher recommendation forms, you have to turn in a resume, which you have to complete and make yourself. So I'm going to really quickly show you kind of what we are expecting. So a resume is a one-page document that is really a marketing tool about you. So it's usually to obtain an interview, not a job, and it's a requirement of many organizations. And so it's something that we want you to build and create, and hopefully it's something you can keep and take with you. I have not had a job that I haven't had to supply some sort of resume for. So your resume should be neat, organized, error-free, and professional. And in turn, it makes the viewer believe the fact that you are neat, well organized, have attention to detail, and are careful and confident. So let's get into the sections that we're expecting. The header. The header should have your name, your permanent address, email address, telephone number, and it should go at the top. This is what it will look like. I'll provide you with this presentation too, so you can click through it slower. But it's always good to kind of set your name apart by bolding, making it a unique header. Don't use a font that's really hard to read, but organizing it in a way that makes your name stand out is really important as people are moving through and looking at lots of resumes all at once. I'm actually going to skip objective statement. Please don't worry about it. Education, so this is where you're going to list, honestly right now it's just Cheney High School, Cheney, Kansas. You can put your GPA down. Everything on your resume is listed in reverse chronological order, so you're going to put the most recent thing at the top and work your way backwards. So your expected graduation date should be May 2022, and you can put your current GPA. If you don't know what that is, let me know and I will help you out. So this is what that looks like. Again, I'm taking off the objective, don't worry about it. But this is how, on resumes, it's really important to format in a way that it's easy to pull out information that you need. So you can see here that this person has used bold lettering, italicized bullets, and then also have used the tab to create a really easily read document. Next is where a lot of people will say work experience, but in general now a lot of people are having resumes that are just called experience. So this can be full and part-time jobs, self-employment, volunteer work. If you are a part of a team, that could be something that you feel really that it gave you some experience that relates to kind of work experience, or maybe you were a part of the play, things along those lines. So it doesn't just have to be work experience. You can also consider experiences such as watching your brother and sister or helping your uncle on his farm on the weekends. So that is what that means here. A lot of resumes will title it work experience or job experience. It doesn't just have to be that. So underneath your experience, you usually list responsibilities. in bullet points. And these responsibilities are kind of telling the reader what skills and employability things did you gain from doing this activity. So make sure it doesn't need to be all typed out. This is actually where you can be a little grammatically incorrect. Use verbs kind of like I maintained records, I worked with customers, and you can tailor these things to be more specific about the position you're applying for. So this is what the experience looks like, and you can just list it as experience. You don't need to divvy it up into relevant or other experience. This example here says that this person is applying for a human resource position, so that's why they moved that one to the top. But again, you can see how they use formatting to really make this readable, and I can pull out the information I want to know about this person quickly. Honors and awards, so this is like principal's honor roll, a varsity letter, those kind of things. You list by dates in reverse chronological order. Professional affiliations and activities, so any clubs you're involved in, inside and outside of school. Don't say you're a member of, and you can always emphasize like your leadership role. So if you were the president of student council, you write president of student council for the specific year. Really avoid using abbreviations or acronyms because there are tons of different abbreviations and acronyms out there, and you don't want, it may not mean the same thing to the person that's reading it. So you should write out Cheney High School basketball or something along those lines, and make sure to capitalize proper nouns. So this is kind of what the whole looks like. I would suggest creating this on Word or Google Docs because it's easy to edit and format. But if you really get to the point where you're frustrated and you don't even know where to start, you can actually go to your Zello account. So this is kind of a Zello account here that just is a mock of me. If you go there and you click on About Me, it should take you to something that looks like this. There is a resume builder, and so you can start to work through this resume. And I really would prefer not to just see this resume turned in. I would rather you put the information in here, copy and paste it into Word or Google Docs, and then format it a little bit more like the resume that we saw in the presentation. So that is kind of my tips and tricks. Remember, all of this stuff is going to be due by the end of the day on the 24th now. I will email teachers and let them know. If you have any questions, please stop by or shoot me an email.